Swadee Krap and welcome to Thailand News Today, a new week. Obviously, we've got quite a lot to report from the weekend. We've also got some new videos online. First is an interview between the two Bills, Bill Barnett and Bill Heineke. He's from the Minor Group and they're discussing the future of hotels in Thailand in the current situation. The other one is a bit of an explanation as to what this means, why the protesters are doing it and who they are. All that on our YouTube channel. In the meantime, let's check today's news. A weekend of intense protest activities around the capital and the country, actually, if nothing else, has encouraged the Thai Parliament to pull together an emergency session. The Speaker of the Lower House, Chuan Leekpai, has been discussing the matter with government and opposition MPs today. Anti-government protests, which began in mid-July, have grown in intensity and frequency as activists demand the resignation of PM Prayut Chan-o-cha, the dissolution of Parliament and fresh elections. They're also calling for a rewrite of the Constitution and for reform of the role of the Thai Monarchy. Most observers see the current demands laid out by protest leaders in a 10-point manifesto as a bridge too far, and that there is little room for compromise in the current political structure. The government's pro-royalist and conservative agenda and its support from the Thai army is in stark contrast to the protesters' demands for greater democracy, reforms in Parliament and the role of the country's revered monarchy. Several protest leaders have already been arrested and the PM has declared a state of emergency in Bangkok, banning gatherings of more than 5 people. Protesters continued to defy the ban over the weekend, assembling in their thousands, both in the capital and around the country. On Friday night, riot police used high-powered water cannons to force an end to a peaceful protest at the Pathumwan intersection, a decision greeted with widespread criticism from human rights groups, political observers and social media. Last night, protesters gathered in their thousands at Victory Monument, the Asok Sukhumvit intersection, by the Imperial World Samrong Shopping Centre, and a march to the Bang Na intersections as well. Another 20 locations outside of Bangkok also hosted pro-democracy protests, including the central provinces outside the city in Nonthaburi and Pathum Thani, in Khon Kaen, Phuket, Surat Thani, Chiang Mai and Pattaya. The activities over the weekend may indicate that the Thai PM is adopting a softer tone towards the young protesters and the demands for his resignation. Following Friday night's removal of protesters from the Bangkok intersection, the new, more conciliatory tone coming out of Government House over the past 3 days has been broadly welcomed, certainly by the protesters. The approach is in stark contrast with Friday evening's statement from the PM that he had no intention of resigning and that the riot police had acted within the law. A government spokesperson was also quoted today as saying that the administration is willing to listen to the issues being discussed and work to find solutions. He said the government's willing to listen to everyone's problems and continues to solve problems in all areas. Meanwhile, the protesters have spent most of the weekend demanding that the arrested protesters be released immediately. Well, Koh Samui needs visitors from anywhere. Some of the island's leading hotels are now registered for ASQ, the alternative state quarantine, and are looking to lure travellers with cheaper flights. But getting the prices down could be difficult. President of the Tourism Association on Koh Samui says both the airport and pier are owned by the private sector. In the case of the airport, Bangkok Airways. The Bangkok Airways monopoly has kept the cost of airfares to Samui inordinately high when compared to most other air travel costs around the country. And plucky rescue workers in the northeastern province of Udon Thani have ruined a crocodile's dinner plans by stopping him from entering a chicken coop. Local rescuers were called to remove the 3-metre-long croc as it was attempting to enter the chicken enclosure and enjoy some lunch. It's understood it took the workers, who admit to having no experience in handling crocodiles, around an hour to wrestle the crocodile and get a rope around its mouth. It then needed 5 men to transport the croc to a waiting vehicle, with the animal putting up a fight the whole way. The homeowner says she believes the animal escaped from captivity at a nearby crocodile farm. That's the way we see the news here in Thailand on Monday, October the 19th. We, of course, will do our best to keep you up to date with any more news about the protests at thethaiger.com. But for now, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. We'll see you tomorrow.